give my love and hope to the family of the young woman who was stabbed in Charlotte by a madman, a lunatic. Just got up and started. It's right on the tape. Not really watchable because it's so horrible, but just viciously stabbed. She's just sitting there. So they're evil people. We have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country.
President Trump commenting about the horrific murder which took place back on August 22nd on board a Charlotte, North Carolina light rail train. Surveillance footage of the crime went public over the weekend shows this: the suspect, 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr., brandishing a pocket knife as he sat right behind the victim, 23-year-old Irina Zarutska, a Ukrainian refugee. The suspect has a lengthy criminal record, 14 prior arrests, having previously served 5 years in prison for armed robbery.
Just tough to watch there. The murder of this innocent young woman has raised even more tough questions about whether Democrat-run cities are doing enough to combat violent crime or mental illness, keeping criminals off of the streets. As cashless bail policies, those are once again coming under scrutiny intensely, as Republicans now expressing their outrage over why a woman, this woman here, losing her life allegedly at the hands of a career criminal who was allowed to be released time and time again, despite more than a dozen arrests on the suspect's record.
Let's welcome in our panelists now. John Hoyt joins us, Second Vice President with the National Fraternal Order of Police, Philadelphia Police Captain. Stephen Rogers is here, retired lieutenant with the Nutley, New Jersey Police Department, retired U.S. military intelligence officer with the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Gentlemen, welcome, and thanks so much for coming on today. John Hoyt, if I could start with you, will this finally spark a change in some of these Democratic-run cities when it comes to actually holding criminals accountable now that a innocent young woman has lost her life?
Nothing would make me happier to sit here and tell you that this is finally going to be the avoidable tragedy that happens that changes things. But history tells us that no, yet again, another poor innocent person has been murdered, a preventable murder by someone who's been arrested 14 times, time and time again. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's 14 times he was caught. Who knows how many crimes he actually committed. And yet here we are again with another tragedy, another grieving family, because the judicial side, certain politically elected people, didn't do their job. Police department does their job, we lock them up. Judges fail to do their job.
Yeah, and not only that as well, I'll go to Steve Rogers on this point here. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein put a statement out on X. He's a newly appointed governor there, or elected, governor. And he talked about more policing needed. He said in the statement, "I am heartbroken for the family of Irina Zarutska, who lost their loved one to this senseless act of violence, and I am appalled by the footage of her murder. We need more cops on the beat to keep people safe. That's why my budget calls for more funding to hire more well-trained police officers." No one's going to argue for more policing versus less. We've seen what happened during the George Floyd riots back in 2020, 2021, defunding the police. Obviously, that does not work. But is saying just adding more police officers, is that really the answer, Steve Rogers? This man has more, the suspect has more than 14 mugshots. He clearly has met with law enforcement already. Where does the change need to happen?
Well, I'll tell you where the change needs to happen. To your point and to John's, we have to begin to hold judges, parole boards, and all those releasing these career criminals on the streets responsible. You know, John could attest to this. Everything a police officer does comes under scrutiny. The cop says something, the cop does something. He doesn't seem to have any immunity away from that. So the fact of the matter is, I don't believe judges should have immunity anymore. Parole boards, they should be held accountable, and if not criminally responsible, at least civilly liable. You make that happen, you'll see a big change, because then their lives, their careers are on the line. That's how it's going to change. We got enough cops out there, but are unable to do their job because of the politicians that are interfering with the law enforcement officers' work, and because we have judges, we have parole boards, and we have politicians who care little about the public safety, but only care about their political careers.
Yeah, and I would also add, from a media lens, I mean, where are some of these mainstream outlets when it comes to their coverage of this? This is a huge story. There's so much to discuss about it, especially when it comes to the cashless bail system. I'm glad here at Newsmax we're able to bring this story to our viewers and have these open dialogues.